Here's the thing, folks. When we discovered the pedophiles out in Coumbia County in Scappoose, it was because of a young lady by the name of Nicole Hill, who had been in trouble with the law for minor things like drunk driving, things like that. And she started dating my son in 2018 and was with him all through 2019 up until around September, when we made the discovery that she told us about. She was the one that told us this stuff, okay? Put my hat on here. I feel better. Anyway, she told us about the pedophiles in the police department and that she had been a victim of the pedophiles. They had taken her and her girlfriend to a place, and I've already did a video about this, where they would rape these girls. So on September the 6th of 2019, we saw a guy who has been harassing us nonstop for a while in a red Chevy SUV truck with a dinosaur on the front end for a hood ornament. We knew the guy personally because he had been harassing us. So we knew what he looked like and so forth. So when Peabody came to arrest us for trumped up charges, the charges were just made up. The stuff they charged us with didn't even happen. And at the time, I was a dependent person. I depended on my son to take care of me. And they stuck me in the jail. And while I was in jail, believe it or not, folks, it's like a third world country, honest to God, in Scappoose and Coumbia County. The woods start at the woods start right there and go all the way to the coast. They got a forest right there just outside of Scappoose and St. Helens. It goes all the way to the coast. We discovered in 2014 that there were about 14 children missing, 12 to 14 children missing. Their photos were up on the wall in Fred Meyer. And we even made a comment about it, that was kind of a sad thing, that so many children were missing. Anyway, while we were there, we parked our motorhome in an area outside of town that was paved and had sidewalks around it, but there were no houses at all there. So during the night, we had a cop wake us up and tell us that we had to go outside the city limits. And he told us, this is my spot where I bust people all the time for sexual crimes, he was saying, something to that effect. In any event, we left, and we thought it was kind of funny that he stayed and then left and parked down the highway a ways. And all of a sudden we seen some cars come in, 2 cars. Both had a teenage boy and a teenage girl in it. And they went and parked at the furthest spot in the roundabout. That's what it was, a roundabout. And while they were there, they were stripping their clothes off and having sex. And this cop would walk up with a searchlight and shine the searchlight on them while they're having sex and make them get out of their vehicles without putting their clothes on even. Anyway, we thought that was pretty odd, so we did a video about it. So I'm not surprised that they're going after my son. They can't come after me because I don't do anything, and neither does he, by the way. He doesn't do a damn thing. He minds his own business. And if he hadn't have met this girl, Nicole Hill, out in Scappoose, we wouldn't be in trouble right now, because she's the one that told us all about the pedophiles, because she had been the victim of the pedophiles. Not only that, but she had been raped when she was 11 years old. She told us all this. And what she told us all came true. It all was happening right in front of us. The red pickup truck, the grabbing girls off the bus stop, and she even said that. And one day, I think it was September 6th, my son was on his way to the store at Fred Meyer's, and on his way there, he saw Peabody's red SUV sitting out on the highway on 2nd Avenue where this young girl was waiting for her bus stop. So my son parked the vehicle and watched. He watched long enough to wait and see that this guy held something out there out of his vehicle. We couldn't see exactly what it was, and made the girl come over to him and made her get in the car, into the truck. So we knew that that was a snatch just because of who the guy was. So I called the police and I called up the school that she go to, the high school, the only high school there, Scappoose High School, and told the counselor about what just occurred. Well, the very next day, I believe it was the very next day maybe, we were both in jail on trumped up charges. And they prosecuted my son for giving somebody the finger like this. That was the only thing they charged him with, just doing that. And telephone harassment, they said. There was no other, it was just all a bunch of crap that they decided to unload on us just to get us into jail. They sent me to Oregon State Hospital. They wanted to just try to prove that I was mentally ill or something, and I didn't know what I was talking about. And my son too, they sent him there too. But by then, I had already talked with the doctors, and here's what's troubling about this. Even after I told all these professionals, social workers, doctors, nurses, even after I told all of them what occurred and what they had done, nobody reported it to the proper authorities for investigation. Instead, they arrested us very quickly and got us out of sight very quickly. And their mistake was sending me to the hospital trying to claim that I was mentally ill, but the doctors didn't agree with them. And while I was there, my son was sent there too. They're trying to use the hospital as a holding facilities for people who like me and my son had a beef over them with especially with the children. So now my son's back in jail, and they're saying that telephonic harassment. Let's see, what's the other one? Stalking a girl who. This girl just came in to the restaurant where my son was ordering pizza, and he was second or third in line, and my son was sitting down waiting for his pizza, and she came in and sat on his lap and put her arm around his neck and popped her breasts up to his face, kind of like, is what he told me. He said he felt very uncomfortable about it because he didn't know who the girl was even. But it turned out later she was a woman who had the same name as a woman he asked to have a date with on Valentine's Day. He wanted to take her out, and he had the money to do it with. He wanted to take her out because he liked her. She had been unloading her car with furniture in it, and I said, Norman, why don't you offer to help that lady over there with her furniture? She's having a tough time getting the furniture out of her vehicle. So Norman went over there and introduced himself, and she accepted his help. And then that's all there was to it, okay? And then a few days later, he put a Valentine card on her windshield and a balloon on the mirror. And her roommate, which was a guy at the time, went bananas over that. I guess he was a jealous person because he made a big deal about my son putting a Valentine card and a balloon on this woman's car. He just wanted to date her. He put his information in there, his telephone number, and asked her for a date. And the roommate, like I said, went bananas over it and made something out of it. And it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. There was no physical contact other than that right there. And the other girl, whose name is Ashley, she is the one who's making this claim that she has had there's been 9. Anyways, I don't know how much of this I was able to get on video because my phone keeps going in and out of on the internet. So, in any event, this girl came into the restaurant and sat on his lap, and now she's claiming contact with him, unwanted contact. Okay, she has the same name as her roommate. Okay, one night, her and another man, a black man, and a little short girl were having sex in the window on the bed. You could see the bed clearly. Their curtains were open, and I didn't think that was such a good idea for them to be doing that, so I just went and called up the apartment complex and made a complaint to them and told them that there's a girl that lives on the corner of their apartment house on the second floor or on the third floor who is having intercourse in her window. And I did. I filed that complaint, with the apartment manager. And I thought that was the end of it. Now, this is a vindictive thing this woman is doing because she knows very well that there hasn't been any contact at all. She's claiming 9 contacts, just like they had 9 witnesses and only 3 showed up, like that. Anyway, folks, this is all very, very crazy stuff. I mean, the law just doesn't work. Okay. Here, come right here with it.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, the thing is, I just had my dinner brought to me. The thing is this girl is claiming unwanted contact when she is the one that made contact initially. And the other girl, who has the same name, Ashley, likes to undress in her window all the time. Just undress in her window in her bedroom. And that was part of the complaint too, because I put up a sign on my car saying, Ashley, close your windows, close your curtains. The cops are making something out of it. So close your curtains. That's all I did. That was it. And then nothing else happened. And for the next, I don't know, year or so, nothing was going on at all, period. It was just us being harassed by the cops nonstop. We've had like 20 maybe calls from the cops where people can just call up and make a complaint and it don't even have to be real. They'll come out and they'll harass us. Like the night we got beat up by a sheriff's deputy. He said he was out of uniform. He called himself the block bully, or you can call me the block bully, or you can call me a deputy sheriff. But you ain't going to sleep here tonight. You're going to go somewhere else. And then he proceeded to kick me where I was sitting at and pulled my head down and pushed me down to the ground. Then he went after my son. Now that charge, and we know who did it and everything, had his license plate number, his car, everything, the truck that he was in. They refused to prosecute this guy. Okay? So that's the background going into this, okay? That they're fighting desperately to find a way to get out from underneath some impending lawsuits that are going to happen to them. And in the meantime, my son is in jail out in Scappoose, and they're holding him for ransom, so to speak, because of the videos that I plant on the YouTube. But the videos I plant on YouTube are true, okay? And I'll take a lie detector test, and so will my son, about any of it, okay? So that's what's going on here, folks. And I hope that my son's all right out there, because I know that they're going to torture him again by keeping bright lights on him all day and all night and keeping it cold. That was the one thing they did to me too. They kept lights on me 24 hours a day. The brightest lights they had in there, they turned them on and kept them on, so I couldn't hardly sleep. And it was cold, very, very cold. So this is a torture technique that they use out there. And you know how it is with these little small towns. You know what goes on. The movies are full of incidences where people go into a small town and then get hung up. Well, that's what they did to us. They hung us up out there because we had a storage room out there. We had to go out there all the time to get into our storage room. So that's what's going on here, folks. So my son is now in jail. I'm in the hospital, and they're trying to violate his probation by using a restraining order. There was no restraining order from 2022. They don't know what they're talking about. I have no idea. In any event, folks, that's what's going on. I'm sorry I was distracted there for a minute. That's what's going on, okay? So you have it. And this Jeffery Auxier guy, well, while our trials were going on, this guy actually propositioned my son. He laid his hand on his knee and said, you know, when this is over with, we can be friends, and I can come over and visit you, and we can talk and so forth and so on. And my son took that as a sexual play, okay? And I take it like that too. He also wanted to buy something from us that we had. It was a ship, a big ship, with sails, okay? And to me, that was an attempt. I mean, while you're prosecuting somebody, you're going to say those kinds of things? No, that's not good. That's not true. You can't do that kind of thing. A prosecutor's not supposed to be tempting the witness with these kind of things. My son thought he was trying to trade the prosecution for a sexual favor, like that, because that's how it seemed to him. And if it seemed like that to him, then that's what it was, because my son doesn't lie about stuff, okay? He's a pretty honest guy. So, folks, you have the reason. I just want to keep this. I'm keeping a record on YouTube of all of this, and the videos I have to put into a drive to save them. So that's what's going on, folks. I just wanted to let everybody know. This guy, Jeffery Auxier, he's a little Ivy League little shrimp, is what he is. Little Ivy League shrimp. What else can I say? You know, a little guy with little stature trying to be a big man with big stature. That's all there is to it.